Welcome back, everyone. Today we're tackling a story. A listener requested the reunion of Joseph and his brother Benjamin from the book of Genesis. You know, family drama, forgiveness, resilience, all that. Should be an interesting journey.
It really is a story for the ages.
Oh, definitely.
Easy to get lost in the drama, but what gets me is, this reunion, right? It's like the culmination of years of hardship, betrayal, and ultimately, like, a test of character for everyone involved.
Totally. To really appreciate it, though, we need to back up a bit. This isn't just some random reunion.
Right. Tons of backstory.
Right.
So Joseph's brothers, jealousy, sold him into slavery, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Ends up in Egypt, beats the odds, rises to power. Now, years later, famine hits. His brothers, clueless who he is, have to go to Egypt for food.
It's an incredible twist.
It really is.
And so it's all this desperation that we get Judah's plea to their dad, Israel, to let Benjamin go back with them to Egypt. It's a lot. They've already lost one son, and now they might lose another just to survive.
Heavy decision. No parent should face that. And the text really lays bare the emotion. Judah practically begs, go back, buy us some food, or we'll die, desperate. Then, to really seal the deal, offers himself up as surety for Benjamin.
That's what got me too. It makes you wonder, what's going on with Judah? I mean, he helped sell Joseph into slavery, but now he's risking it all for Benjamin.
Well, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
These aren't static characters. They grow, change. Judah's surety isn't just a plot device. It shows how far he's come. Stepping up, taking responsibility, showing loyalty he didn't have before, hints at that redemption theme that comes later.
And what about Israel, their father? What a position to be in.
His answer, is heartbreaking. He just says, if I am bereaved, I am bereaved.
Yeah.
Just raw grief, that horrible choice he's got to make. But even then, he doesn't send him back empty-handed.
Right. Best fruits of the land, balm, honey, spices. That's not just food. It's about appeasement, right? Exactly. Shows the power dynamics. Israel knows he's dealing with someone important. These gifts, it's like navigating that, you know? Plus, double the money, including what was weirdly returned before.
Doesn't want to take any chances, huh?
Right.
So they head back, gifts, anxiety, the whole deal. What happens when they get to Joseph's place?
Fear, instant fear. They think they're being accused of stealing because of that money.
Oh, right.
Misunderstanding, emotions running high.
They even say, it's because of the money returned in our sacks.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
So he can accuse us, take us as slaves, our donkeys too.
Yeah.
They're terrified.
Oh, for sure. And their relief when the steward reassures them, you can feel it. But think about it, the whole journey, the risk, bringing Benjamin, then this.
Talk about resilience. Their family bond is strong.
It is.
So then, the big moment, the reunion, they bow before Joseph, ask about their dad, but all Joseph cares about is Benjamin. Right. He asks, is this your younger brother, the one you told me about? And then, boom, it's like something breaks. Joseph, powerful, composed, he just loses it.
Oh, okay.
The text says, he made haste and sought somewhere to weep, and he went into his chamber and wept there.
What a scene. This leader breaking down in private over his brother. What must have been going through his head?
It's one of those things, it goes beyond the time period. No matter how high you climb, the power.
Yeah.
We're all human. Those connections can bring you to tears.
It definitely adds to Joseph's character, all that complexity, and kind of leaves us hanging too. He knows who they are, they're clueless. What's going to happen next? Is he going to tell them? How will they react? So we're left with Joseph, totally overcome, his brother's in the dark. Does he just come out and say, hey, it's me?
Could have.
Yeah.
But wouldn't be much of a story then, would it? Instead, he puts them through a little test, sees if they've really changed. Are they still those jealous guys who betrayed him?
Okay, so what's he do? How's he test them?
Oh, it's a whole thing. He has his steward plant a silver cup in Benjamin's bag. Then, when they're leaving, sends his men after them, accuses them of stealing.
A silver cup? Seems a bit much, don't you think? Couldn't he have thought of something, I don't know, less intense? These guys have been through enough.
Might seem that way, but there's symbolism here, right? This silver cup, it's not just any cup. Some scholars think it was a special cup for divination, maybe even one Joseph used himself.
So by putting it in Benjamin's bag, he's not just saying, hey, you stole something valuable. He's saying something way worse, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
Especially since they don't know it's a setup. They're freaking out, tearing their clothes, swearing they're innocent. But it's Judah, again, who steps up, offers himself as a slave instead of Benjamin, just like he promised their dad.
Wow. Take me, let my brother go.
That's gotta be intense. What's Judah thinking at this point? We talked about his character arc, right? That surety thing, it was growth. But this is next level. he's not just protecting Benjamin, he's owning up to what he did before.
He's like atoning for selling Joseph, right?
You could say that. I screwed up before, not this time. I'll pay the price.
And Joseph, what's he think of all this? Is Judah convincing him that they've changed?
It is. That's the turning point.
Yeah.
Joseph sees the remorse, the love. His brothers, they're different now. They've grown up. And now he can finally tell them who he is.
The moment of truth. How does he do it?
Sends everyone away. He's got to be alone with them. Then bam, just breaks down sobbing. Says, I am Joseph, your brother, the one you sold into Egypt.
Can you imagine their long-lost brother right there? And he's like a big shot. Mind blown.
Oh, shock. Disbelief, guilt, probably terrified too. But Joseph, he jumps in before they can even say anything. Tells them, don't worry, don't be angry with yourselves.
Wow, forgiveness after all that. That's big.
It is. And then he goes even further. He says, it was not you who sent me here, but God. He's seeing a bigger picture. Like their betrayal is part of some plan to save people during the famine.
So he's not just forgiving them, he's helping them make sense of it all.
Yeah. Reconciliation. It's not forgetting. It's understanding, moving on. That whole redemption theme, second chances, that's at the heart of this whole story.
Definitely a powerful message, even today. I mean, we all mess up, we all hurt people. But this story says there's always hope for healing, forgiveness, new beginnings.
You said it, Joseph and his brothers. It's not just a happy ending. It's about how strong family can be, how even the worst wounds can heal. But what really strikes me is how it's all tied up with this idea of like fate, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, remember that silver cup and how it might have been connected to like predicting the future? That divine element, it's not just there by chance. It's saying there's something bigger going on, guiding things, even when we don't see it.
So even with the betrayal, the hardship, there's this feeling that it's all part of some greater plan.
Exactly. Even our worst moments or biggest mistakes, they can have meaning, a purpose.
It's definitely a lot to ponder. So what now? Do the brothers just go home?
Not so fast. Famine's still raging. Joseph, he's got power now. He's got a plan, not just for his family, but for everyone.
Things are getting interesting. Sounds like we're about to dive into the next chapter of this whole epic saga. I'm all in. All right, so huge reunion, all these emotions, and this famine hanging over everything. What happens now? What's next in this family saga?
Well, Joseph, right? He's not just a brother anymore. He's got power in Egypt, responsibilities. And with his family back, things get tricky.
I bet. So does he just say, everyone move to Egypt, problem solved?
Not quite. He's got a plan, though. And it's pretty smart. Wants his family safe, but he's got to think about politics, economics, all that. Can't just make a big splash.
Things are getting serious, not just family stuff anymore. This is leadership, strategy.
You got it. So Joseph, always thinking ahead, he comes up with this plan to bring everyone to Egypt. But not as refugees, as honored guests. He sees this famine, it's a chance to be with his family, A&D, save them, save others.
Okay, but how does he convince the pharaoh? Bringing in a bunch of foreigners during a famine? That's risky, right?
Yeah, but Joseph, he's proven himself right. Wise, good administrator. He makes his case, tells Pharaoh, my family, they're shepherds, farmers, they'll be an asset. It's a good deal for everyone.
Smart move. Not just begging for help, he's offering a solution.
Exactly. And Pharaoh, he sees that, he trusts Joseph, so he agrees. Wagons, supplies, even gifts for their dad, Israel. Goodwill gesture.
So back to Canaan they go. Gifts, the crazy news that Joseph's alive and, well, in charge.
Yeah.
Their dad, what a moment that must have been.
The text says Israel was like revived.
Yeah.
Joy, disbelief, the whole thing. First he doesn't believe it, but then the wagons, the gifts. It's real. Pure relief, happiness.
After everything he went through, that's got to feel like a miracle.
Absolutely. Hope, family. Even when it seems impossible, there's that chance for things to turn around.
Love that. So they all go to Egypt. Big reunion. How does it go?
Tears, hugs, the whole deal. Joseph throws a feast. His dad shows up. They embrace. He's crying. Brothers are just blown away by Joseph, his power, everything.
After all that time, the separation, the betrayal, then this, it's almost too much.
Right. The whole range of human emotions right there.
Yeah.
Shows how strong family is, even after years, hardship, it all.
What happens next? They just live in Egypt now?
They do. Joseph, he takes care of them, gives them land, everything they need to make a life. They become the Israelites, their kids, grandkids. They're going to be important for both Egypt and Canaan.
Wow, so this whole thing, the family, the forgiveness, it's just the start of something even bigger.
That's the Bible for you. Stories within stories. Each one teaches us something. about ourselves, about something bigger than ourselves, hope, faith, all that.
Definitely been eye-opening. I'm seeing this whole story differently now. It's not just brothers fighting, it's about forgiveness, resilience, how unpredictable life can be.
I'm glad you see that. It's a story with a lot to say. Makes you think about your own relationships, forgiveness, how faith, trust, they help you when things go crazy.
And that feeling of hope. No matter what happens, how bad we mess up, there's always a chance to make things right, get a second chance, find each other again.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that's a message that never gets old.
So, to our listener who asked for this deep dive, hope we did this story justice. I've learned a lot, and I bet you have too. It's been a great experience.
I've enjoyed it. Always fun to dig into these stories, find those hidden meanings, that wisdom they offer.
And to everyone listening, if you've got a story, a question, anything you're curious about, let us know. We're always ready for another deep dive.